Hello and welcome to my channel. If you are new, my name is Haley and I have mitochondrial DNA disease, and it's been a long time since I've sat down and filmed a video. I think it was last week I was on YouTube and I discovered that there's a chronic illness tag, and so I thought that I would do the chronic illness tag. So the first question is, what chronic illnesses do you have? And I have several. My primary diagnosis is mitochondrial DNA disease. I have cyclic vomiting syndrome. I have POTS, which is postural orthostatic tachycardia syndrome. I have chronic fatigue syndrome. I have dysautonomia. I have gastroparesis. I have gut dysmotility. I have hemiplegic migraines, complex regional pain syndrome, and I also have irritable bowel disease. And I feel like I'm forgetting something. I have a lot. The second question is, when were you diagnosed? And obviously with all these chronic illnesses I have been diagnosed with, it's been throughout my life and spread out. So I was diagnosed with mitochondrial DNA disease and cyclic vomiting syndrome when I was 5 years old, after being in and out of the hospital for the first 5 years of my life almost every month with a cyclic vomiting syndrome episode. If you are curious of what any of my chronic illnesses are, look in the description box down below because I will put links. For dysautonomia, I've had it my whole entire life. We knew I had it, but we weren't really, like, it didn't majorly affect me like it does now until I want to say 2013, and I was diagnosed in at the beginning of 2015 with complex regional pain syndrome, either the end of 2014, beginning of 2015, and I was diagnosed with hemiplegic migraines in May of 2015. Oh, I've also had chronic fatigue syndrome my whole life as well. But last year I was diagnosed with everything else, which is gastroparesis, gut dysmotility, POTS. So yes. The next question is, have you ever been hospitalized? And yes, I have. So much. The next question is, have you ever had surgery? And yes, I have. I have had 3 surgeries. One when I was 4. It was a kidney reflux repair surgery. Don't exactly know what exactly they did. They just fixed something with my kidneys. They thought that's what was wrong with me. It wasn't. I don't remember any of that. But last April, I got my central line placed. And then in April of this year, 2017, I got my central line taken out and a port put it in its place. Do you take any medication? Yes, I take a lot. I will put a picture somewhere on the screen of all my meds I take. It's in a big basket. I take a lot of meds. The next question is, what do you wish people knew about chronic illness? And I wish they knew that we're not being lazy and it's not a choice, and we don't want to be sick or have chronic illness or lay in bed all day. And I also wish people were more aware of the more uncommon chronic illnesses. The next question is, how can awareness be raised? There's so many ways. You can share my channel, you can do fundraisers, and we need to share even if you don't have a chronic illness, or if you know somebody who has a chronic illness. Raise awareness. Just because you are quote-unquote normal does not mean that you can't raise awareness for a horrible chronic illness. The next question is, who knows about your illnesses? Everybody in my life does. It's not something I've ever held back. Everybody I know knows I have a chronic illness. They know that I'm in a wheelchair. They know that I feel crummy all the time and that I can't always join them. And I think for me it's really important to just have everybody around me know, because hiding it would just be really hard, and I don't see the point of that. The next question is, how do your chronic illnesses affect your mental health? And that's a really loaded question. For me, struggling mentally is much harder than struggling physically. I do deal a lot with anxiety, which isn't fun. I mean, I do have my times, like right now for the past week or so, I've been in a pretty good state and not too much anxiety, but there's days where I have intense anxiety every day. To stay positive 100% of the time, I try to stay positive because I know if I don't, I'll be stuck in a rut. It's hard when you're trapped at home because you physically can't handle going places. That's really hard when you have chronic illnesses. And I've also dealt with some depression before. Luckily, I am not struggling with that right now, but I know it can come up anytime basically. So it affects it in all ways possible, and that's can be super hard. And the last question is, if you could tell the medical community one thing about your illnesses, what would you tell them? There's multiple things I would tell them. The main thing I would say is listen to your patients. Whether you think they're hypochondriacs or not, listen to them. If you don't know what they are saying they have, Google it. There's no humility in a doctor Googling something. Can't possibly know every chronic illness or condition in the world. You just need to listen to your patients, and if they say they have something you're not familiar with, Google it, ask them about it. Do not put them down and do not make them feel like they are crazy, because the last thing they want to do is be in an ER and almost passing out because their vitals are all whack, but yet nothing's technically wrong with them. Sorry, I kind of get a little heated when it comes to telling doctors, the medical community, something. Hopefully you enjoyed watching this chronic illness tag. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure you like this video, make sure you subscribe down below, and make sure you come back for my next video. Don't forget, again, in the description box, if you're curious of what exactly all my conditions are, I put links in the description box down below for all of them. That way you can learn about them if you're curious. And I will see you all in my next video.